in order to treat cancer along with any other disease, you want to get rid of the toxicity, whatever that is. And everyone has, pesticides, forever chemicals, heavy metals, chronic infections, all these different things in their body, and you can gradually get rid of them, right? That will relieve yourself of the toxicity. And there's two approaches to cancer, right? One is you kill the cancer cells, which is a risky approach. So if you force the cancer cells to stop dividing, they'll actually, this gets a little technical with light and stuff, but they may actually metastasize looking for sources of light, either biophotons that your own body makes or light on the surface in your skin.
Well, they evolved to survive. We see that.
So they'll leave.
Yeah.
They'll leave the area. They'll go somewhere else where there are more signals for dividing present for them. So light is one of those signals that triggers any cell in your body to divide. So anyway, the point is that they go to highly metabolic tissues that are creating biophotons, and that UV light that they secrete triggers the cancer cells to divide again. So you have, even if you give ivermectin, fenbendazole, or chemotherapy or whatever, a lot of these drugs prevent the cancer cell from dividing the way it wants to, right? It's trying to divide. That's the thing it's doing above all else, right? It's like rapidly trying to divide in order to survive. It feels as though it's under so much stress that it's about to die. It must divide as quickly as possible. This is essentially what cancer feels like, if you want to, think of cancer as like feeling something. And so that's one approach. And sometimes it works. Sometimes you do it enough, you do it fast enough and, strongly enough that you do kill off all the cancer cells, then you're left with the toxicity. The other approach is you remove the toxicity gradually and you support the body with everything it needs. And then the cancer cells actually turn back into normal cells. This actually happens, right? This is what a lot of people who have like spontaneous remissions, it's not that your immune system killed all the cancer. It's that the cancer cells stopped being under so much stress that they were being, basically triggered to divide out of control. The stress was gone and they just went back to normal. They actually turned back into normal cells. And we know this can happen. I'm reading a book now, Cross Currents by Robert Becker, where he shows that there was a study where when you kind of reverse the polarity in terms of DC current, where a cancer cell was, the cancer cells could be, reconverted into like stem cells essentially, and then they turned into normal tissue cells. So we know it can happen, and it's the safer approach.
I'd love to see that study.
I'll look it up, the Robert Becker stuff. And, just reading that, he said, like, I don't think anyone picked up that research and like applied it to cancer, which obviously they should have. But there may be a really, really simple way to turn off cancer cells just by applying super, super weak electricity. Like, it's not high voltage. It's extremely tiny voltages of DC current. And it basically just tells cancer cells to go back to being normal cells. It's just really incredible. And you looking at that, you're like, there's so much research that should have been done. We probably would have had multiple cures for cancer by now if we hadn't had Fauci, dispensing the billions of dollars to his friends in industry for the last 30 years.